To have and to hold. My wife was dying. We didn't talk about it much anymore. There's only so many times you can circle the same truth before it starts to feel like a ritual. But it was there, in the way she breathed, in the way she tired, in the way her hands trembled when she thought I wasn't looking. I was tired, not of her, never of her, but of the fear, the long slow dread that eats the days before the end. One morning she had an appointment, routine, nothing dramatic. I went in with her because that's what you do when the person you love is fading. You hold on to the small duties, they're the only ones left. She checked in, they called her name. She squeezed my hand and said she'd only be a few minutes. I sat in the waiting area. 5 minutes, 10, 20. Eventually the worry pushed me to the desk. I gave her name. The receptionist frowned, checked the screen, checked again. "I'm sorry, there's no appointment under that name." I explained. I insisted. I pointed to the chair she'd been sitting in. The receptionist's face softened in that way people do when they think you're fragile. "Sir, you came in alone." That was the moment the world tilted. Not violently, just wrong. I left the hospital. I don't remember the walk to the car. I don't remember the drive home. But when I opened my front door, there was a woman in my kitchen. She smiled like she'd been waiting for me. "Long morning," she said. "You look pale." She kissed my cheek. She called me love. She moved around the house with the easy confidence of someone who lived there. And then a teenager came down the stairs, lanky, sleepy, calling me dad. There were photos on the walls, the three of us, holidays I never took, birthdays I never celebrated, a life I never lived. And the worst part, it felt nice, warm, normal. A version of life without hospitals, without fear, without the slow, cruel countdown. But it wasn't my life, and she wasn't my wife. My wife was thin and tired and brave. My wife had a laugh that had grown quieter over the years. My wife held my hand at night because she was afraid of slipping away while I slept. This woman in my kitchen, she was everything my wife used to be, everything I wish she could be again, but she wasn't her. And my oath wasn't to a wife, it was to her, to have and to hold, in sickness and in health, until death parted us. So I fought it. I searched records. I broke into the hospital at night. I dug through archives, CCTV, anything that might prove she existed, anything that might prove this new life was a lie. But the world had been rewritten too cleanly, too kindly. The new wife cried. The teenager begged me to stop. Doctors got involved. Words like delusion and dissociative episode were whispered around me. Eventually they sectioned me, not out of cruelty, just inevitability. A doctor sat with me one evening, tired and sad. "We tried to accommodate you," he said. "We tried to help you, but you wouldn't accept it." And then I woke up. In my own bed, in the real world, my real wife beside me. Her breathing was shallow, her skin was cool, but she was there. She looked at me with those tired eyes and whispered, "You're here." And I held her hand, because that's what I promised. Because that's what love is when all the easy parts are gone. I stayed with her through her last days. I watched the world narrow around her. I listened to her breaths grow softer. I didn't look away. And yes, sometimes I regret it. Sometimes I think about that other life, the warm kitchen, the healthy smile, the son I never had. It would have been so easy to let the world rewrite me. But she was my wife, my partner, my truth. Better to grieve her than to let her be erased. Better to hurt than to pretend she never existed. I held her hand until the very end, because I said I would, because I meant it, because love is not the thing that saves you from pain, it's the thing that makes the pain worth bearing. To have and to hold, even when the world offers you an easier lie, even when it breaks you, even when it ends.